Hello, hello.
Hi, hi.
Hi. Everyone
Wow,
here?
come back crystal clear.
Nyan, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Are you in my apartment?
Yes,
All right,
I've invaded your house. I can come
that's fine.
outside.
No, I'm coming in.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll do presentations.
Hi, Shakura.
Aha.
Hi, Marjorie.
Oh. There we go.
Hello everyone. And, welcome to Eorzea Photography Twitch stream. Yay.
Yep.
My name is
It's our
Red.
second edition.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, or like no, this is our second edition, so we'll be talking about lighting.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the tutorial about lighting. My name is Red. I am hosting tonight's show, and with me is my co-host Nyan.
There, everyone.
Hello.
Aw. Just
Of course, the ear wiggle.
yes.
I
They're
don't
the.
have
It's the
it
most
like.
important thing.
Oh, that's I should have it on cue then, but it's not like part of my bars. Sadly.
Hi, Susan.
All right, so yeah, this episode is about lighting. On the last show, on the last stream, we looked at GPOSE, which is, oops, this tool over here. We had a pretty extensive look of that tool, looking at all the features, and today we're gonna concentrate mostly on the lighting tool and how to achieve interesting lighting types and different styles. And for this, we are in my photo studio. Let's look around a little bit. Here we are. Lovely.
I love your studio.
Thank
It's so
you.
clean.
I like it too. Yeah, I got my little cigar corner over here and radio. Though I've turned off the music for this stream. Yes. So yeah, I guess the first thing we should do is present the Eorzea photography lighting guide that we have, which is brand new and ready for everyone to look at and download. So let me see if I can show it. Um, I guess I should go to display capture. Turn this. Oh boy. Yep. Might have to do a bit of a switcheroo over here. Let me know if what you see is correct. All right, is this showing on your end?
Yes.
Excellent. So this is the Eorzea Photography Light Guide PDF file. If you look, we're gonna post in chat the link. I think it's already been posted, but we're probably gonna post it again a couple of times. And this link should lead you to the PDF file, which is the guide that we've made. And it's going through. There's a couple of pages going through some of the basics of the lighting tool in GPOSE. And that, the reason why we're in a studio right now, it's because it helps a lot having like to concentrate on the lighting and not worry about like the environment and the background so much. So there's a lot of information in this guide about positioning the lights, about color of the lights. We have oh, hello, somebody. Was this a follow? If I remember correctly. Thank you for the follow. And yeah, the guide, and also like the guide goes over different styles of lighting that are most used or are very interesting to explore. We got a page on natural lighting. We have a page on dramatic lighting, which is very contrasted and interesting. Oops, sorry. There's a page on a prismatic style of lighting, which is very like colorful. There's a section on sunburn style of lighting, which is a very bright lighting for characters. And there's a style we have here that is light overflow, which is using special effects, especially. On top of like the GPOSE lighting. And we have a section on the cinematic style, which is made like especially to like convey a mood or an emotion or this is probably gonna be combined a lot with composition and camera and stuff. And this is basically the whole guide. I'm just doing a quick overview right now, but you are more welcome to go and download it and see it for yourself, read the whole thing, see the pretty pictures. We have different people different people who are featured in there with their pictures, so you can see a lot of different examples. And today we're gonna try to apply some of that wisdom and show you in game what we're gonna do. And we're gonna start with a more in-depth feature of the lighting tool. All right, so let me go back in game real quick. Boom. I think that should be it. No. Display capture. There we are. Okay. All right. Nyan, you ready?
I am definitely ready.
I'm ready to see all of this.
Yeah.
Before we begin, I did want to give a big thank you to Ember for making the lighting guide for us.
Yes.
Oh yes.
She composed everything together, wrote it out, put all the collected all the pictures. She did a phenomenal job. So everyone give a round of applause for Ember.
Yay.
Beautiful. I'm sorry, I forgot. Like I was totally into the guide and I didn't even think of it. Thank you, Nyan.
You're good.
Thank you, Nyan. Hooray. A
So
really
we have
nice
two
job
hosts,
as well by
3
Ember.
hosts.
I'm really impressed. I like their very like stylistic approach to lighting. Quite beautiful. All right, so let's see. We got you see I'm dressed in white and Nyan is dressed in black, which is going to be interesting to see like different effects of how lighting applies to characters in my environment. And also we have a very dark side over here, which is quite nice. And the light side over here. I got a couple of lamps here, but I'm gonna turn them off for the purpose of this these examples, we're just gonna use the GPOSE lights. So I don't want to have these like disturbing any of the effects we're doing. Okay, so this is turned off. And maybe as well, the light in the studio. Maybe I should turn that off completely. Alright, so now it's very dark.
Spooky.
Spooky. Alright, let's see. Let's start. I'm gonna start like with with me on this side. Go into GPOSE. Boop, boop, over here. Alright. Yay. Alright, so in the GPOSE menu, you've got some of the button. Oops. Wait, there we go. Some of the buttons on the left side over here, and we're gonna be looking mostly at this one in the middle, which is the lighting settings. We've looked at it a little bit in the previous video. I'm just gonna recap some of that stuff. Basically, you have up to 3 lights that you can place in GPOSE. And you can turn them on and off with these 3 buttons over here. And what this is going to do is whenever you turn on a light, it's going to position that light where your camera is currently located, right? So if your camera is far away in the front and I drop a light over here, that's where the light source is going to be. You know, you see on the character, right? The lighting is coming from the front. Somewhere up there is where I dropped the light. And if I turn it off and come back over here, really close, turn it back on again, see? Now you can see the light source is very close to the character from this side. So toggling this on and off will not only activate the light, but drop it where your camera is. And you have like a shortcut button over here, and you can use with, like, if you have a controller, you can use your right button to toggle it on off. That's gonna do the same thing as if you come in and activate it over here. Whether you use your mouse or your controller, it's gonna do the same thing. And then what you have down here is the 3 lights, the 3 lightings, and you have 3 types, 3 settings for each of the lights, and each of them can also have different colors. We're gonna go over what this means because this is using what we call the RGB values, which is red, green, and blue values. And the more the higher the slider is, the more red color the light is gonna have, and the lower it is, the lower of that color it's gonna have. So if you have let's say a light that is completely 0 like values over here, it's gonna be kind of the same as if it's turned off. But we're gonna start right in the middle over here for this light. And I'm gonna go with a type 1 light, and the type 1 is sort of the least intense light. If I drop it here, you kind of see how close it is to the character and its intensity. And if I go a bit further and set it to type 2, you can see like the distance is the same right now because I didn't drop. I just changed the intensity, and you can see how it affects the scenery and the character. So basically, type 1 is a very like a short reach kind of light, and type 3 has a really far-reaching light. If you're outside, like a type 3 might even light a lot of the environment, maybe even mountains and stuff. trees and things in the background are going to be more affected by a type 3 than a type 1, which is, you know, a smaller radius of effect. And you can put like if you want to change again the disposition of the light, you have to turn it off, move back somewhere else, turn it on. And now you see the light is in the corner over there where I dropped it, but the reach of it is not all the way to my character, so I can increase it like that, and you can see it's starting to light my character a little bit. And then type 3, it's reaching more of my character and further on the environment over here, like so. And you can do that with, like, if I put light number 2 over here and light number 1 over here, now I have 2 lights on both sides, and I can control the intensity of these lights separately. So I can have, like, over here it's a type 1, and all the way back there to the left to type 3. Maybe I want to drop that to type 2. And you can sort of see the difference that it does in distance and in intensity. And let's try on Nyan now, who's over here.
Over in the white corner.
The white corner and the other corner. It's like we're playing chess or something. That's quite interesting. Alright, so if I go and turn off the lights, come back over here, just reposition them. Type 1 over here. Yeah, so you can see right now, since the background is bright, you know, the light over here is going to be very more intense, very brighter. And you can see on a dark character, the effect is mostly on, like, the reflection. Like if you're wearing a leather outfit like Nyan is wearing, you're gonna see a lot of the lighting is gonna affect mostly on like the shininess if you're wearing a dark outfit. Which is really nice. And if I play around with different light types like that, different intensity will give you like different results. Oh, this is very bright. Yeah, and if I want to, let's say, here the split between left and right is really kind of stark. I can just go put a third light over here in the front, but maybe not so close. Actually, I'm gonna turn it off, move back a little bit, drop it, maybe here. Oh, almost. There we go. So now you can see the third light has, you know, softened a little bit the split between both sides. There's also a character lighting slider over here. You can adjust. And what this does, maybe it's hard to see over here, but it's gonna affect some of the lighting on the character that isn't like specific to any of the spotlights. If I turn it off completely, you're gonna see there's kind of a bit of a lighting effect going on. Like if it's turned completely off like this and it's 100% like this, it's going to affect a lot of the contours, and it's mostly like a almost reflective contour effect that you see on characters, and that isn't like dependent on any lighting. It's kind of it's part of the material of characters. Like if I move over to my character, it might not be as obvious. Yeah, it's kind of more obvious because I'm wearing a very bright outfit. But you can kind of see at 100% and 0% what it does. Like if I go also like on the face, maybe I'll zoom a little. This. You can see going back to lighting, character lighting. It has a subtle effect, but it can be useful in just adjusting the overall like lighting on your characters. All right, let's see. Oops, nope, don't want to quit. So yeah, we can. Is there any questions so far in the chat that I've missed?
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Seems
Yep.
everyone's just hanging on to y'all every word so far.
All right.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, we'll move on to light colors. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually just reset the zoom because it helps me have a better idea of. There we go. Where the light is positioned. So over here at this position, I'm gonna put a type 1 light, okay? Like this, you know, which is nice. And I'm gonna put another one, actually let's just start with one light. Not gonna be too confusing. Right, so the 3 sliders over here is what we call RGB sliders, which stands for red, green, and blue, right? And when by default you're gonna see, if I reset all the values over here, the default values for these sliders is almost like at 50%, but the red one is just at 60% over here. That's because natural lighting tends to be a bit warmer. So they set this up like by default to have a bit of a warm light, which is kind of like a more natural looking kind of light. But if you want to have a cooler light, you can maybe just drop the red value back to 50 and increase the blue value a little bit to 60%. And now you see the lighting is a bit more bluish, slightly bluish. That's because when all of the sliders are equal, this represents a pure white light. And if the more the sliders like differ from each other, the more they're going into like one specific light color. Like if I increase to 100% the blue over here, it's gonna be a very bluish light. And if I put all of them to 100%, it's gonna be a very bright white light. Because like right now they're at full power at type 3. This is probably like the most brightness you can get from a light, especially at this distance. You can control the, like if it's too bright, you can either like lower to a smaller type of light, which has less of a reach, or you can also lower like the 3 sliders to something pretty low, and see, now it's something that's much more subtle. It still has a bit of a reach, but the intensity of the light is not as strong. Now, if I want to go and do a very red light, I can simply boost it at 100%. Like this, a bit less intense, maybe, like that. So what you can see now is that only the red color is boosted. If I want to have a blue color, then it's like this. If I want to have a green color, it's like this. And by combining the sliders together to create different ratio, like red and green together are going to give you a yellow color. And if you want to have something orange, then you can just drop this to maybe 50%, keep the red at 100% and the blue at 0, and you're gonna have a really nice, this is the most orange you can get with these sliders. If I want to go with something purple, then I can just go something like this. And if I want some purple that is a bit more blue, I can reduce the red over here. You can see it's a bit more of a bluish purple. And if I want a purple that is, you know, more in the red, just lower the blue slider here, and now it's like more like a wine or grape looking kind of color, like this. And then you can play again with the type to control just how intense it is. Once you've got once you've got exactly your color, especially if you're going with very extreme values, you can just go back to the type to control the intensity of the light. And if you want something that is a bit like more subtle in terms of the type of color you want, you can just come back to having something that's, you know, a pure white color, and then just tweak it a little bit. Like if I want this to be slightly bluish, I can just do something like this, right? Where it's almost a white light, but the sliders are set up so that there's more blue and less red, or maybe something like this. I mean, the best way to understand it is to play with it. It's to try like individual sliders at extreme values, like what does it give you when it's at 0 and 100% over here and something like that. After a while, you're gonna just sort of develop a feeling or an instinct, like of an understanding of how this works. Like this. And then you can combine them together. Like if I go and put back over here, create maybe a bit of a bluish light, this. I want something a bit brighter. And maybe actually not a bit brighter in this way. Not so intense, but still the same kind of bluish value like this. And then I go and put another light, maybe on this side, at this distance over here. So I go to drop the second light. This is pretty intense at type 3. So I'm gonna lower that to type 1 over here. And now I'm gonna have a bit of a warmer light, like this. This is interesting. And maybe I want it not so intense. See, now you have a interesting, like a bit of a bluish and like a cool and warm side. Like that. Let's go over to Nyan. See how that works. I'm gonna reset colors over here, reset the lights. Do the same thing here. So one light here, type 1, a bit cooler. Like this. And on this side, drop a second light, less intense, and a little bit warmer. Like this. which gives us a very interesting gradient of color in the background, and also since Nyan is wearing like a black outfit but is very like shiny, you can see a lot of the color in the leather, in the shiny leather outfit. And if I drop character lighting, it's gonna be a bit more obvious, the difference. And then I can play again with the sliders and have something more maybe something more purple over here, like that. And on the side over here, maybe I'd like something a bit more yellow. So drop the blue. Something a bit more warm like this. Yeah, and this is how you combine colored lights to make different effects. Right now I'm only using 2, but I could, what I often do myself is use a, when I see that the split between 2 colored light is really intense, I just come and put a slightly white light kind of in the middle right there. And that just sort of softened the transition between the two, like this. And if I want something even more subtle, if I want the red, not the red, but yeah, this should do it. Like I said, you need to experiment and play with it. Take your time with it. Like this. All right. Is there any question regarding the light colors or the light types? None so far.
Nope, none so yet. I think they're still absorbing everything that you're teaching.
What about you, Nyan? You all familiar with this, right?
Yeah, I play a lot with the colored lights. I don't know how to explain my process other than trial and error and kind of messing with them to get like the perfect color.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all up to you as an artist, right? What feels good to you. Because I've seen people who make really interesting with things with like crazy like super bright light, and I've seen people who do also beautiful thing with very low and dim and dark environments. Eventually, the more you play with these options, the more you discover like your own little kind of sweet spot or your comfort zone, and you find kind of your own style by playing around with this. And there's it looks intimidating, like there's a lot of sliders and a lot of options. But really compared to like other tools that I've had experience with, this is very, it's kind of like the minimum what you need to do something interesting. The reason why there's 3 lights, it's I suppose to achieve like what we call a 3-point lighting, which is a light style that is used a lot like in studios. And we'll talk about this later. Now let's see. Let's go back and look at the guide that we have. Because there's something very interesting in there I'd like to show. Let's see. Let's get back to display capture, and nope, not this. There we go. All right, you guys see this? hopefully we're back in the lighting guide. So yeah, we've covered the colors. Oh yeah, we'll look into saving and loading this stuff. Thanks, Shakora. So yeah, you can see here like there's some examples of how different lights in different direction act and the sort of effect that they do together. And now some of the interesting sections in the guide are styles, and we have a list of different styles in here. Like we have a natural style of lighting, and a very dramatic style of lighting. Let's see if we can try and reproduce some of them. What do you like to do, Nyan?
Personally like to do a lot of like dramatic ones
Mhm.
or rainbow ones because I like the sharp contrast with lighting and color.
Okay, so we could try and doing something with the dramatic style with the light, or like the prismatic style over here. By a rainbow, you mean like using like red, green, and all the colors as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, prismatic. I blanked on the word for like half a second.
All right, let's start with the prismatic stuff. See if we can make it something interesting. All right, going back to the game here. All right, do you want to tell me what to do, Nyan? With your character?
Sure. Let me
Yeah,
let me get into GPOSE so I know what I'm doing. That's not the right button. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go in there as well. Let me just. All right, so I got your character over here. And we're in GPOSE. So what are we trying?
All right. What I usually start out with is I usually set the filter to black and white because I like recreating the film noir kind of style.
Okay, so we're doing the dramatic first then. If we're doing.
Oh yes, I didn't know which one we were.
Yeah.
I didn't know which one we were starting with.
Okay, so which one? The first one? Let's start with the first one.
Yeah, I usually go with like monochrome 1 because it's a little brighter.
Yeah. I figured.
So it's a lot easier to see what's happening.
Okay. Then back to lights, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, this is where trial and error really comes in because I'll use each of the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll have one that's super intense, like the 3.
Okay, so.
And then have one that's a 2 and one that's a 1. So I'll use like each set.
All right, I set up lighting 1 to be 1, lighting 2 to be 2, and lighting 3 to be type 3. Actually, let me just reset like that. Okay. So should we drop like the bright one first? Light 3?
Yes.
Where do I put it?
I would say put it overhead because that's what will give
All
us
the
a
way
little
on
bit more
top like
leeway.
this?
Yeah.
Alright, so boom. Type 3. Ooh, it looks spooky. Makes you look angry. Alright, what next? Maybe.
And then I'll put 2.
Yeah.
like off to the, I'm trying to find my cardinal directions now. To the right?
On
I
the
think that'd be
screen?
like the characters right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So number
And then
2
actually that
over here.
I
This
think we
might
don't
be
we may
difficult
not.
for you since you're not really
Yeah.
controlling.
Yeah. We may not need the third light because that already right there has a really dramatic
Yeah, that's true.
look to it.
It
Or maybe
really
number
does.
3
I
can
kind of feel
be...
like it adding a third light.
Number 3 can be... less intense, maybe. Like, really... like this. How's that? Maybe it's better without it completely.
Yeah. See, what were you saying, Soraya?
Yeah, I was saying like adding a third light would probably brighten it up a lot more than what you're going for.
Hmm.
But like this right here looks really nice because it's that right amount of noir black and white that you see in a lot of movies where it's
Mm-hmm.
not, because normally with noir is like a little bit more darker than it is light.
Yeah.
And like this right here to me captures it, which by the way looks amazing. Y'all know I'm gonna be on 14 playing with black and white photos.
All right. Let's... I think what I would do from there is try a backlight. Maybe very close, somewhere here, I suppose. Since the first light is from this side, from the other side, but a bit more from the back. I'm gonna drop a backlight like this. There we go. And since I can't really go any lower on the brightness of this, I might just go and lower that. Maybe actually I want to be very shiny. Not too shiny, but yeah, that's interesting. What do you think?
I think it looks fantastic.
That looks so good.
Let's see. That's quite nice. I'm gonna try and grab the whole character. Maybe zoom in a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. A little bit of angle. Go. Nice. I'm gonna grab that. Hopefully it's not gonna grab my Discord overlay.
I think it should be all right.
Think. Oops. Now is a very good moment to do what I call safety first. GPOSE save, where you can save your camera angle over here and save your lighting like this. So if I go and mess around and add things and do bad stuff, like, you know, if I have this character, I think I can go and load the camera angle on this character. Is that what I got? No. There we go. Load. There. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't seem to want to save a screenshot. That's sad. Oh, I think I know why. Oops. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Well, let's just keep the image in our heads then. All right, let's try another style with the prismatic one. Let's see. Going to go back to this. Now, suppose we're not gonna go monochrome. We want to have colors. I'm gonna reset the light like this. Now there was a really nice example in the guide that I like. I'm gonna switch over to this side. Maybe do some kind of emote, like the flame dance.
Ooh, yeah, that'll look really nice.
I was getting
This.
ready to say something that brings out like a lot of movement.
And maybe some control for the I wonder if the eyes are gonna look towards the camera. Doesn't seem so.
It will as long as you're not frozen.
Yeah, but sometimes some of the dances and some moves will control the eyes as
The eye
well.
movement. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And yeah, you won't
Yeah,
be
so you
able
kind of have to
to.
be careful. Yeah, which ones do it? 'Cause I think that was one of the ones that it does control the eye movement of where the person is looking.
All right, I'll try
Oh,
and
that's
just
depressing.
yeah, I'll try and just grab the right pose. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, I like that. Though it kind of looks. Yeah, this is really good. All right, so back to lights. I'm gonna go with maybe type 2 over here, type 2 over here, a very bluish color over here, very reddish color over here. Like this. Since my camera position right now is relative to the face, it's kind of a perfect profile. Drop the light over here and you're gonna see that it really splits the face in half over here. And if I do the opposite, go to the other side, as perfect a profile I can get, and turn on the light over here, and you're gonna see it does this really nice 50-50 split like that. And then my third light, or maybe I can tweak the colors again, like that. Something that has a nicer gradient, I think. So I still want it to be blue. Like this. Which looks nice. And maybe a green backlight. somewhere below here, I think. Let's try it. That's really intense. I probably want it more like this. No, I want it from the bottom. See, that's the kind of trial and error you want to play with. And maybe the green is too intense. No, that's the wrong one. Here. Like that. So red over here, blue over here, and green is kind of down here.
That is really nice.
And yeah, on a white character like this, it's interesting. It's like the character is a canvas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
does
it's
the
good because the
lighting...
colors reflect off of the white so well.
Yeah, and combined with the dark background, it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see
Makes
if...
the character really pop.
Yeah. Let's see if I can play with filters a bit. Oof, that's too much. That's kind of interesting. It kind of makes the color mix better or get a bit more muted. I like bright 3. Not so much this. This is kind of interesting. That's black and white. Oh wow, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, colored pencil it is.
Kind of like it though. Since there's a
See,
lot
that
of...
makes the colors kind of be a little bit more brighter.
Yeah. Since there's a lot of depth over here, try and get the hand closer. Like that. That's really interesting. Oh, I have an idea. I think this is why. Just gonna keep that.
You know what it reminds me of? Like you're in Ifrit's arena.
Yeah, in Ifrit's arena, it's there's a very bright red, like fiery light, and a blue one as well.
Oh yeah, I love that one because that lighting in there always makes your character look like it has this metallic-y look going on.
Mm,
And it always adds like that nice kind of reflective
yeah, very shiny.
feel. Very shiny, but just like metallic, and the colors are absolutely perfect.
So that's really nice. That's also interesting. I like the added like gradient in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
See
would
that mute?
want something more yellow, I guess, rather than green. I boost those a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, that's nice. All right, do we have questions again about colors and light styles?
Seeing any popping up in the chat, but if y'all have any, please feel free to put them in the chat. Let us know, and we can answer them.
Or GPOSE questions in general, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've covered a lot, and we're probably nearing the end of the stream at this point.
Got about an hour.
What else? Let's see. We can maybe try like a more natural lighting, because we did something very dramatic and something very like colorful like this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try with something more natural. Actually, what I'm gonna try and do is save the camera on character over here, and the lighting on character as well. So save this. Save this. See if I move over to Nyan.
Will it do
And
the same thing?
it should, I think, apply whatever I did on my character and put it on Nyan when I load it. So load camera like this. There we go. Ooh. See, now this character's position is not exactly the same, but maybe if I control angle of the head, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, here we go. See, that's a neat trick. Like, you can actually just save your camera and color from one character and then transfer it and loading it on another character from within GPOSE, which is really cool. Of course, you're gonna lose whatever is on the other character. Like, you see my character has gone dark. It's because I only have
Right.
3 lights to work with.
I think it's interesting how much different the lighting can look from one character to another just based on the colors that are
Yeah.
on that character already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look on the shiny leather, it's really cool to see, like, one side has a very, like, interesting blue strip over here, and on this side there's like a red and a yellow strip.
Yes.
And it does really
It's
interesting things on the skin tone. Look at those eyes. That's really cool.
But I love the fact that like it always translates differently.
Yeah.
Oh, Shakur has a question. She says, "How about lighting in a non-controlled environment? I know it was covered in the first GPO stream, but what if you're just out in a zone and bam, I need pictures?"
Ooh. Yeah.
One big mood.
That is such a mood. I die in dungeons because of that.
Oh, you mean like an actual dungeon? You're in a duty and you're like, I want to go in GPOs and everybody else can just say goodbye.
Well, I mean, just in general, just
In
I
a
know,
less
like, for
controlled
me,
environment, let's say just out exploring in the world. There's a lot of things to worry about, especially weather and time of day. Weather and time of day is going to have a really big impact on your screenshot. So there's an interesting feature in GPOS over here, which is this here, stop time and weather. What it's gonna do, and that works like in the overworld. Sometimes it doesn't work like inside a dungeon. Some dungeons have a sort of its own sort of time of day system, so you can't really control it. But anywhere else in the game, you can freeze the time of day at whatever it is currently, and it's gonna keep it active and keep it from changing. So that's some control you can have. Another way to have some control is to, like, in each of the cities, there's a character who is going to tell you what weather it's going to be, what weather it's currently is at each of the zones, and what kind of weather is going to be soon in those zones. Want to go and let's go there actually. Nyan, you want to come too? Let's go to.
Oh, sure. I didn't realize I muted my mic
on
accident.
Uh-oh. Let's go to Limsa. I'm gonna show you. And if you really want to have control over like the environment, this NPC is gonna be your new best friend. And it's kind of sad that you can't really just set whatever weather or time of day you want there to be, but that NPC is gonna help you at least track it. And you're gonna know that, oh, maybe in 5 minutes from now I need to go in that zone to have like this specific kind of weather. So it's the Skywatcher over here, this nice lady. And when I talk to them, so each of the cities has one of these characters, and you can see like in all of the zone what weather it's having right now at the moment, and what weather it's gonna switch to next, right? And I think that weather changes at midnight, at 8 a.m. and or is that how it is? Midnight at 8 a.m. or no, it's at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and at midnight or something like that. But this way you're gonna see like in the Ruby Sea right now it's clear skies, and the next weather change is gonna go to thunder, you know. So if I want to take like picture with thunder weather, like right now it could be a good idea to go in the South Shroud, or to go let's say was Azizla has like thunder right now. But you also want to consider the time of day. So since we're like the Eorzea time right now is 10 p.m. Then you have to consider like the current time of day and when it's gonna switch, whether what time of day it's gonna be there as well. And especially like outside in a zone, like in the outside area where there's moonlight and sunlight, that's gonna have I would say a pretty big impact on what your lighting is gonna be like. And also you might have lamps and light source around. So over here, if I'm standing here for example, I got right now 2 light sources. The lamp over here, which is lighting my character, and it's creating, let me remove this, it's creating this shadow on this side of the character, and you can see it on the floor as well. And the other shadow that is like down there at the bottom of my character over here, this is coming from the moonlight right now. You can probably see the moon is gonna be over here. Like even if it's kind of dim right now, the moonlight is always a constant. Yeah, you can see this shadow right now. That's where the lighting is coming from up there. And so this is gonna have a pretty big influence. You have to think about the natural light sources that are in the environment, depending on where you go. If you don't want, let's say you don't want to bother with this light over here, but you still kind of like what the moonlight is doing, you just can go and move to some other place. And then you can see like the natural lighting, what it looks like. First, try to make it work with the natural lighting as it is as much as possible. And then when you move into GPOSE, the best thing you can do with the lights is to sort of tweak and do some adjustments relative to what the natural lighting does. So like right now, with the shadows that I'm having from the moonlight, the face of my character is really like in shadow, like this. Like if I look over here, you can see some of the hair is creating shadows on the face. And if I look down here, like the whole face is gonna be like in the shadow of the head, basically. So if I want to have better lighting over here, I can probably start with the type 1 and do something interesting like this maybe. Let's say it's kind of hard because of the color marker too right now. But yeah, your GPOSE light at this point are gonna be kind of tweaks. And since the GPOSE light themselves, they don't produce any shadows like the moonlight or some of the lamps do, the GPOSE light will actually kind of erase the shadows. Like if I drop a light over here, you're gonna see that it's really subtracting the shadows. And you can see over here the effect that it has. And even though I've put my light on this side with a GPOSE light, it's not going to create any shadows of its own. It's kind of a cheap form of lighting that, since it doesn't have any shadows, it makes it possible to add more lights. But yeah, you have to sort of use them in conjunction with the natural lighting. And my best counsel on this, I would say, is try to work as much as possible with the natural lighting, and just use the GPOSE lights to tweak for something a little better. Like if it's not producing exactly what you want, the GPOSE light are there to sort of do some adjustments. Like if I go here, put a light back here. Like that. So now I'm having a bit of contour. Maybe I want some blue in that contour. This. Yeah, I hope this answers your question. And once you got what you want with the natural lighting and your light, you can go and try like different filters. And if you find that with certain filters, you know, it's almost there, then you can go back to your lighting and then do whatever tweak you want. Like if, like in this situation, I want it to be more purple, I can go and do that, and maybe more red over here. Like so. Yeah, lighting inside a studio and lighting like in the outside environment, it's kind of a different science, because in a studio you don't have to worry about so much about the weather and outside elements. But you can still have some very interesting effect outside and in other environments, especially because now you have shadows available to work with. And though they are sometimes difficult to control, they can, if once you understand them, you can sort of predict what they're going to do, and you can have some control over that.
Absolutely. I know, like when I go out, a lot of my shots are more natural shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like a lot of the times, I will actually play with the times of days,
Mm-hmm.
just because at noon, Eorzea time, when it's nice and bright outside, you're gonna have a lot of light.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times, you're not even gonna need any other external
Yeah.
light source because you have so much of it. But like during the evenings or like during what I consider dusk, you will get some very interesting shadow plays. And
Mm-hmm.
like one of the things is like I have a house on Ether. And if you start noticing the time of days just going around, you will notice how natural light plays already in the house, especially in housing. Because like when I have a small on Ether, going downstairs in like early in the mornings and during dusk,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost a very, it's not completely dark, but it casts like perfect shadows where it's just amount of light where it pretty much softens everything, but you still have that contrast between the darkness because twilight is setting in, like the nighttime is setting in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the last rays of light are like coming on through the house based on wherever you've placed a lot of your windows and such, and you can get almost fairy light looks when you're going through.
Interesting.
So yeah, so it's like I definitely suggest people that, like as he said, always play with the natural light, especially when you're outside of a studio first. Because if you pay attention, certain times of day create a certain filter all in and itself,
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
point that you will not have to use as much to grab the look that you're trying to go for.
You
Oh,
just made
Marguerite has
me.
a question.
Go ahead.
When there are characters together who have differing skin tones, i.e., light and dark, how do you figure out a middle ground for lights to use so neither character is washed out or overexposed?
Ooh, that's very difficult.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, there's some characters who have like even like blue and green skin, right? And it's not necessarily a very natural lighting, sorry, of a natural skin tone. So it can create like a very sort of exotic situation where you don't really know how to deal with that. Um, I would say I would say first try to light them just with white just white light, okay, and try to get at least first the luminosity you want to have out of your lighting, and once you've figured out like the light intensity and then the luminosity, then you should try and fiddle with the actual color of the lights. So don't try to go and putting in colors right away. If you're dealing with characters who, like multiple characters in the same scene that have different skin tone, try to nail the lightness first, and then once you have something that you like, of course, you save it, in case you do mistakes, and then you can experiment with colored lights or things like that. If you have, let's say, a character with a blue skin tone, you might try to go with something that is a complementary color, like the opposite of blue is orange, I believe. So these contrasted colors could make some really interesting effect together. So you could have maybe a character with a blue skin, maybe an orange light would be interesting, and then also another blue light to sort of complement their natural blue skin. And of course, like if there's another character in there, um, maybe you want each of them to have their own light. So you might place one light that fits well enough with all the characters, and then put a certain number of type 1 light next to these characters so that they each have their own sort of proximity light to them, right? Because I don't know if Nyan is close to me right now. Let's go. Maybe I'm gonna move close to...
Here.
Where are you, Nyan?
I'm right behind you.
What? Oh,
I'm right behind you.
wow. Okay. Did you go ninja on me?
No, Limsa just takes a little bit to load sometimes, is I
Oh,
think what it is.
yes, because there's so many characters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move away a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Whoop.
Actually, I had an idea for a place that is very interesting for lighting, and we can try something there.
Okay.
Let's port. Actually, I'll go invite you to my party. All right, and we're gonna go to Camp Drybone. Here we go. This should be fun. Alright, let's go for a ride.
Oh, you have the fancy car.
I have the fancy car.
You know, I hope they bring this back one day.
What do you mean?
I started playing after this event,
Oh,
so I never
okay.
got the chance to get the car.
Sorry. I very much doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
It was
It's all
kind of
good
a
though.
promotional event for the game at that time. Alright, I'll show you the map where we're going.
I think I know where we're going. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I'm probably
The
wrong.
Bat Cave.
Ooh, I didn't know this cave existed.
Yeah, Thal's Respite. So, the very good spot for...
I very rarely go over here.
Yeah, I've practiced lighting in here for all sorts of reasons. One of which is the really nice lamps that are around here. If you want to do like a very sort of dramatic looking picture, here is a really good spot because of the ambience that is very dark, and the contrast between light and dark is really interesting in here. And one of my favorite light is this one over here, which is really nice to play with. Which by itself has a
Ooh, it's
very
so
dramatic. Yeah, exactly. Very dramatic look. And you can see, like, if I go in here... Actually, no, there's something else that I wanted to try. But at least in here, we won't be bothered with, like, the moonlight or anything like that. Alright, so yeah, you can just stand here. I'm gonna go into GPOSE over here. No, not this. Sit and jump. Sit and jump. Alright. No, what did I... Oops. Let's try that again. Alright. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Alright, so I got my two characters over here. And... Jethro has...
I take the...
The filter off.
Yeah.
Good point. Alright, so Jethro has a, you know, a bit of a dark tone, skin tone. Nyan is a bit lighter. Right now, the lighting is not so great, actually, where we're standing. Let's try something else. Something, because the lighting is really from above. Alright, over here should be good enough. Yeah, looks good. Alright, and no need for posing, I guess. This example.
Yeah.
So you can see I got two type 1 lights. I'm gonna just reset everything over here. Type 1. And if I put one here, maybe closer. So it's affecting my character a bit more than yours, since yours is a bit further away. And since the type 1 light doesn't have a whole lot of reach, that's a good tool to light one character in specific, right? But if I go over here on your character and put another type 1 light, let's say I'm gonna put a warm colored light over here, like this. Maybe not as intense since it's pretty close. Right, it's also gonna affect my character, because now the light is in between. It's kind of a tough choice to do, depending on where you want your light to come from. But if you really want to have like different lighting for two characters in the same shot, I think it's better to keep the lights as separate as possible, away from the different characters. So you can have like, see, you have your own lighting. I got my own kind of lighting over here. So I can adjust this one for this type of skin tone. So I can maybe go for something a bit more cooler, like this. And on your side, something a bit warmer, fun. Oh, did I mess it up? I don't think I adjusted the correct lights. Yeah, I totally messed it up. Right, okay, so here's the warmer. Here's the cooler one. I might want to have mine a bit brighter. This. And on your side, doesn't have to be as bright since your skin tone is light. Like that. And then since I got two lights placed, and I might want to have them at least some shared lighting. Maybe the third light could be number 2. Like somewhere here. Since right now your character is still what looks like to be a bit the brightest, I'm gonna go put number 3 here. Right? So this way, we can see that even with two characters that have like different skin tone, depending on where you drop the light, you might favor one character to have a light close to them that has more brightness, and the other character that has a light close to them with less brightness, and then the third light that just sort of equalize all of them together. And now they have a pretty decent, lighting that fits kind of fits both of them. Yeah, I guess that's the idea. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing any in chat.
Either.
Well, we've covered pretty much everything, even more.
Yeah. I mean, so if anyone has any general GPOSE question, it doesn't have to necessarily have to be lighting, but like GPOSE in general, please feel free to ask.
Well, otherwise we can finish the stream there for today. There's probably a lot of other subjects that we're gonna be discussing in future streams. We'll see what it'll be.
Or
I know we wanted to at some
Sakura
point talk about stickers and things like that.
I think that's going to be a very fun stream.
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
over the stickers.
We're gonna have to think about that and practice it, because myself, I've never used stickers. So
I've never used them at all either. Like I knew they were there, but yeah. Hold on, Sakura said about the action poses.
like, what kind of action poses? Oh, combat poses? Let's see.
Just I'm kidding, kind of, but I'm sure that will be covered later.
Yeah, we could also definitely we could do a specific stream about combat screenshots. You know, how to use like abilities and strike like dummies and stuff like that to you know to make different combat moves and simulate like duels or things like that. It's definitely something we could explore
Oh,
like more
definitely,
in depth.
especially with the explorer mode.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, yeah, that's gonna be very nice.
Yep, because since there's no enemies there, you could actually recreate a lot of duels or um it's like which is something that I would like to definitely start playing a lot more with because I know like when I do action shots, I do them in the moment that they're happening.
Hmm.
So, like I know one of my favorites is like I actually took a picture during the Katana Revolve and it was like a really pretty picture and it actually caught everyone like going down the waterfall to get to the last boss and you
Hmm.
could see like one of my friends I actually caught the moment where she was kind of behind everyone else. So when I took the picture, she was actually running to catch up with everyone. You could see everyone else was jumping down the
Hmm.
waterfall. And it came out beautifully, but it was just like I know when I try to take those pictures, I normally try to do them in the moment that they're happening in those lull in the dungeons where there's not stuff coming
Yeah.
at you because sometimes those actually are really good shots because you're catching them doing things that technically you probably should be paying attention to the dungeon.
I mean, if you're running with a group of friends and they all know you're into taking pictures, yeah, I expect them
Oh
to
yeah, no,
be.
this one wasn't like that. It was just only me and her, and other two people were random.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know, it's good. It's good to ask, and if you're with friends, they're usually quite happy about it. You know, unless
Mhm.
one of your friends is like, "Oh no, I gotta finish this, and then I gotta go and get dinner or something." All right. Well, I guess that's gonna be it for today. Um,
Yep.
thank you, everyone, very much for joining.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you for all the good questions.
Mhm. And I mean, and next time, not sure what the next topic is gonna be, but we'll always announce it prior to stream.
Yes.
Um, and keep in mind that New Year, so we will be streaming a lot more often. So look forward to having weekly podcasts with us as we explore GPOs and start bringing in a lot of the elements that maybe people are not necessarily familiar with, or even some that others are familiar with. And if you have suggestions or questions, please feel free to ask us. If you're not comfortable doing it in stream, we have social media, so you can always follow us on Twitter and on our Instagrams and be sure to ask us questions there. Or if you want, we have an amazing Discord community in which you have fellow screenshot enthusiasts as well who would love to be able to help you out in any which way and form you need. Um, we have GPOS mentors, we have the admin staff, and again, we have other people that are just there to just socialize and enjoy each other. That'll be more than welcome to help. And you can also explore, and we have events all the time. So you never know. We might turn around one day and stream, and we might go over some screenshots that we see that people send in our discords a lot, and we may discuss like what are our favorite ones. Yours might show up on here. But if you're curious about the guide that we created, Shakura has nicely put in our command, which was covers today's lighting topic. And you are more than welcome to go down, pull it down, look at it, follow it along to help you kind of improve and kind of work on your lighting. And if you have any questions as far as the guides are concerned, please feel free to reach out to any of us. We'll be here just to help.
Yes. And again, thank you very much to Ember, who made the guide beautiful and really hard work.
Yes,
And
Amber did
thanks
an
to
amazing job.
yes, yes, and It's an inspiration, really. It made me think a lot about things, so I appreciate a lot. All right, well, have a good night, everybody, and
We will
thanks
see
again
you
for
guys.
joining.
And we'll see you guys next week. Love you guys. We appreciate you.
Bye bye.
Right. Bye bye.